Hey everyone, welcome to HQ. Welcome to now the completed OG studio. That feels good to say it. And actually, I've spent 100 hours I'm in thus far into organizing just the drawers. Maybe not 100, maybe 75. But I was here all day yesterday. I pulled a 12-hour day yesterday just to set you up for this video. But I wanted to give you a full tour of the now completed HQ studio. I'm going to be using this thing for the foreseeable future to work on projects like coating the GT4, repolishing the GT3 RS. I've got to do exhaust, wheels, suspension on the Tesla. And so this is going to be my place rather than having to crawl around on the floor at my house. But now we have two awesome places, the Middleton garage for doing wash and talks and stuff like that on the Matt Moorman channel, and then shooting all of our amazing stuff here, showing you all the different products and things that are we're developing for OG. Hey everyone, sorry to interrupt the video, but there's something really cool that I think you're going to want to come to, and I think you're going to want to be timely on this because we only have a certain amount of spots. We're putting together, this is the first annual Middleton Motor Show. It's right by my house. But we're taking over downtown. We're going to have food trucks, restaurants are going to be open, live music. Rumor has it Jay Leno is going to be walking around there too because he has a comedy show that's at that night. The time frame is from 1 to 8 p.m. We're looking for, like my two cars are going to be there, GT4 and up. But if you have a nice car, like I may submit my E92, if you have a nice car, don't be ashamed to post it up. Make sure to go to the Village's entertainment page. We'll put a link in the description and go fill out your application. It's going to be $50 if we choose you. You don't have to pay up front. We just want people to have some skin in the game so you'll actually show up because we only have 130 spots. We're going to be lining downtown we're going to have parking for other people too. So even if you don't get picked, you definitely want to come. It's going to be the start of something really cool. So make sure to get signed up and love to see you there. Show's February 28th, 1 to 8 p.m., but I want to get your application in now. So I've been talking garages to you forever, and I always say it this way. I don't know why I say flooring, lighting, cabinets, tools, other stuff. And so the biggest footprint in the garage here is flooring. And so if we talk about the floor, this is just bare concrete, and we were able to lay out and put Swiss Trax flooring right on top of it. The tiles are 15 3/4 square. They're just shy of 3/4 of an inch thick. And the beauty of this is my Matt Moorman standard slate gray and then black. It's the normal setup. We do a black border just to break it up. But the beauty of this flooring is that you can see it over here. You know, I've got 2 or 3 oak leaves that made it into the garage last night when I was moving cars around. And the nice thing about this is that I can just pick them up. The floor stays clean like 95% of the time. And what I'll do occasionally is I'll take my OG vacuum and I'll suck up the dirt and dust that sort of ends up here. I know it drives people crazy. They don't quite understand how I could live with the dirt underneath, but I'm telling you, since it's 3/4 of an inch thick, it doesn't click and clack when I'm walking on it, and the dirt disappears, and I can deal with it whenever the heck I want to. It's also great for washing on. I'm not going to wash in this garage because it's not sloped. We're going to build a wash bay, but the flooring is, again, standard setup with slate gray, black border, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm going to add a little bit to the flooring here. A little future tip is that I'm going to actually do some tile around the lifts, some porcelain tile. So that's coming soon. It's called from a company called Argolith, which I saw at SEMA. And so the tile should be here any day, and we're going to be installing that here shortly and showing you how that works. The next thing in the garage is the lighting. And as you can see, if you watch the whole series, Mike went through and he did dry fall black paint. Dry fall meaning that you spray the paint and after it sort of hits the surface, if there's any extra as it falls through the air, it turns into dust or a powder that you just vacuum up. And so we painted the ceiling black. One of the coolest things of this garage now is the darn galvanized ductwork. Look how freaking cool that looks, man. I think it looks awesome. So our friend Roberto came out and did that for us. We do have to do some for recalculating with the VRV and the flaps that direct airflow. Once the summer gets here, we're going to have to deal with that. But the lighting in here is still Cree. Cree has since been discontinued, and I don't know if the company has gone defunct or what the deal is, but they just basically told us they're no longer making LS fixtures. I already had these for this. We now have a new replacement, and it's not a concession. It's probably a slight, like a 1% upgrade over the Cree lights. But the H.E. Williams are what we have in the store now if you wanted to replicate this. But the way it's set up, we have 8-foot fixtures. I think they're all 8-footers. I don't think we have any 4-footers in here. But they make them in 8 and 4 feet. These are the 8-foot, 5,000 Kelvin, 90-ish, 92 CRI. And they are controlled by a RF system from Lutron. This is a Lutron RAW2 Select. And over here on the wall is how we control it. And I did each row. We have 5 rows. I wanted each row on its own control. And so this is what's called a Pico. The Pico connects to that little white box on the end of the light. And so we have 5 of those boxes. Those are called PAL packs. PAL pack connects to Pico, so I can control the lights in here like so. And then we have this calibrated and set up to about 150-foot candles at peak. And then what I'll do is I programmed all of these center buttons. These are all dimmable. I dim it down about 30%. And so when I'm in here messing around, not on camera, I'll bring it down to say, 70%. And or 30% dim is more comfortable. We put it in flamethrower mode when we're in here. I forgot to turn one on. There we go. When we're on camera, so we can get maximum lighting for you. But we have 5 rows of, how many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8-foot fixtures. So 6 times 5. I have 30 fixtures in here. They're like, what, $350 a piece, and so you're about 10 grand in lights, right, to do this, to do a garage this size. By the way, the dimension is 54 wide by 28 deep, just to give you some perspective. So we have the Swiss tracks, we have the lighting, and then we have the masterpiece. I freaking love this, man. I love this cabinet, the 1540 that's in the middle. So these are from Sonic MSS Plus. They're about 26 inches deep. My countertop is, what is my countertop height here? Or dimension, just to kind of put it into perspective for you. Yeah, so countertop's 25.5. And this array is actually not mounted to anything. It's all self-contained. These are really made for dealerships. European dealerships is where they sort of, or they engineered these and designed these for. I have no business owning them, other than they frickin' look fantastic. Fit, finish, function, and then, you haven't seen this yet, Wyatt, have you? This is frickin' life-changing. Organization. So the whole package, the package as a whole is what gets me going. We'll talk about tools here in a minute. But the Sonic MSS Plus array, this I want to say is 24 feet wide. My countertop is about 20 feet long. This only comes in the single black finish. Someday I would like to kind of do something, make a plate that replaces this, that kind of takes away some of the logoing. But I do love the MSS Plus logo. So I have 890, 890, so that's the width, which is roughly 35.5 inches wide. So 890, 890, 360 millimeters, 1540, and then the mirror on the right side. I love symmetry if I can get it. And then I have 2 of the 650 millimeter wide closets on the side. But fit, finish, function of these cabinets, this is my preference. So at my house, I have Rousseau. Here at HQ, I have MSS Plus. And I thought about this. I've had MSS Plus up in Helen for a long time, but I didn't live there. I had MSS Plus in the Darlington house for a short period of time, but we had swapped that for the white Listas because those cabinets that were at Darlington went to Helen. And so this is going to be my first long-term living experience with my favorite cabinets, which are these. I love the Rousseau. The Rousseaus are heavier duty. The Rousseaus you can do custom color. But if I only had one choice, these are the cabinets that I'm choosing. I'm absolutely in love with them. We do have MSS as well here in the front area of HQ. If you can't swing, you can't afford the MSS Plus, MSS is actually shallower as well. It's about 5 inches less deep, and so it makes it a little bit more, more palatable if you have a garage that isn't quite as big as this one here. And so the uppers have the, have the fold up type. I'm gonna go through every single drawer here and have every single thing organized. I did the first round of organization where I did some tool gridding over the last couple of weeks. And so I'm starting to kind of get a framework for where everything goes and how everything's set up. And then, me, I'll change that, 10 times over. I also have a little bonus array over here, which I set up as my desk. Where we can stow our rolling carts. I haven't had the rolling carts in my life. I'm loving it. I got the rolling cart over in the corner there. I've been using it a bunch. But the rolling carts are something that I think I'm going to like more than I'd care to admit, because I haven't had one in my life yet. And so what I'm planning on doing is all the sonic tools are going over there, and then these 2 rolling carts, I'm going to put all my bespoke tools, Wera, Koken, Hazat, all the fancy stuff that I'm 8-tool, Knipex, put that all in these rolling drawers so I have kind of the best of both worlds. But look at my desk setup. Whenever I start whisper talking, that's when I'm excited. Steel case chair, a custom leather that I had ordered. I've had this for years. I ordered this a long time ago. Dynaudio Core 5s, Note Icon, the new 6K LG 32-inch monitor. It's not great, but I bought it, and I'm gonna deal with it here. And so what I'll do is I'll come in here. So actually, the other rolling cart stows in here if I wanted it out of the way. But what I do is I come and dock. So I have this little Rain Design dock here, a Rain Design M Tower. And so my laptop is in my office, but I'll take my laptop, stow it, plug it in, and then I have, the functionality, full functionality of, and I actually use my iPhone in, continuity camera mode for my webcam. So I'll usually put that in the center of the screen because this is a non-webcam screen. Most meetings I'll take will be in my office where I have the Thunderbolt display. And then I got this guy. It's the Core Subcompact. I think the audio system is like, you guys are gonna yell at me, it's like $7,500 or something like that, but it is freaking life-changing, I'm telling you. Even if I wasn't a Dynaudio dealer, I would still buy this because I think it's incredible. But the way that I've structured this array is this is for garbage. So my garbage goes here, and then that one behind you, Wyatt, is the microfiber towels. So I'll put microfiber towels there, and that's where I will, I'll store those until I take them home to wash them. I need to get a washer and dryer here. But this is my, work area. I love offices, and you guys know that. And so now I technically have 2 offices, one in my garage and one out front. And I've been kind of stingy here because I got 2 offices and my team doesn't have an office yet. So, I promise we're going to get the OG bullpen done here soon. So in the cabinets is what I've been focused on the last couple of weeks. And so what I'm envisioning is detailing, polishing goes here, a decon goes in this cabinet, interior over here. I have my charging in this other upper. So charging in here. I don't like the stock, Milwaukee chargers, but I got my Ego chargers. You can see Sonic has power bars that kind of go in position. And then, I have some interior stuff. So I still have to kind of build my detailing setup here, but I've spent a lot of time on the drawers. So just look at this. Screwdrivers. We got to go through all of these. I mean, this is the coolest thing in the world. Imagine having this. I will use this. This is all new. Like, I just moved in, so give me some time. Don't yell at me about my tools aren't greasy yet. They won't ever be greasy because I always clean them before I put them away. But all these are brand new, and we're going to do lots of projects together. I've got a suspension and brakes and everything for the Tesla. But I thought of this for hours and hours and hours and kind of set this up and structured this. If you own MSS Plus and you own the foam inlays, I don't like how they give us tolerance, and so what I did was put little slivers of tool grid in here to kind of keep this from sliding around so it stays nice and tight. But what I'm planning on doing with Sonic is making my own version where these extra tools that I have that I had to tool grid, I want to make sure that we have a full master collection of tools. And so eventually I want to have every Sonic tool that I have here in my garage set up in this XD or extra deep drawer fashion so that I can, match the drawer and fill it completely. See, these cabinets here, this has the extra deep foam. And so I want to have extra deep foams like this one for each drawer so that I can kind of set it all up. But I did a combination of the tools in foam and tool grid when I had some other, like my, this is my one Snap-on tool that I own. It's the knockoff version, the cheap version of Snap-on, but this is your grommet remover for your exhaust hanger remover, and just having a space for everything here in the cabinets. And I cannot tell you how much better I sleep at night after having spent, dozens and dozens and dozens of hours setting this up, where I have to take some drawers and kind of tool grid it and set it up with my high torque tool for moving my center locks. This just makes me happy. So now it does take quite a bit less time to do the Sonic foam inlays than it does. So I'm in the dozens of hours where I'm in the almost hundreds of hours in the full tool gridding of my house, if you've watched that series. So this drawer I haven't finished yet, but this drawer is going to get my levels and tape measures and all the things that I access, markers and pens. And so this will be gridded out, but you can see I put the 6x6 boards and I'm able to cut it so that it's pressure fit. So nothing slides around, nothing moves. You guys will like this. You real men will like this. Look at this. Isn't that cool? That's freaking sick. And so I got my little Dymo printer and I set up, so I have all these little, if I need some drill bits, and I pop this open and I've got all the drill bits that I need, and so I have everything set up. So I got Torx square, nut drivers, step bits, everything that you can need to make your life better. And then occasionally I'll use some of these tools. I finished this drawer here too. There's so much cool to show you. I finished this yesterday. I got some Dremel tools and I got my grinder stuff and my wood boring bits, and yeah. These drawers here aren't done yet, so I'm going to put my Milwaukee in here, and I've sort of set up and ordered all my Milwaukee tools. So these bottom drawers, I could add charging to these if you want, but I'm going to keep the charger up top here. And we have, all my tools are going to be holstered and tool gridded in there. So stay tuned. I'll have a video on this here soon on how I set that up. And so tools are, one of the things, the spice of my life. And so having all of these lined up and designed and set up the way I want, multi-tool, self-feed wood boring bits, having hole saws, all that stuff. If I need it, I want to have it. And so then the array, probably have another, a couple of dozen hours to get it fully outfitted. I have probably 10 or 12 empty drawers. Anytime you're designing or building a garage, you want to make sure you have capacity. So capacity is an important thing to have, so that way if you get something new, you have somewhere to put it. You don't have to just stick it in the corner somewhere. So I think that's an important thing to consider when you're designing a garage. I don't have things spilling out of my cabinets, and I want to make sure that I have room for the future. I'm cheating a little bit here because the elephant in the room is my lev rack. I have a lot of storage capacity, as you can tell. So I'm cheating a little bit on my empty drawers because look at this freaking thing. This is giant. So 12 feet wide times 2, 4 feet deep times 2, and then these are about 80 inches tall. So you have 80 inches. The depth on this, I think, is 16, and then you have 4 feet total deep. And so what I am intending to do is to have this set up where I have all of my, like car parts and things like that. You guys will like this. This has been one of my dreams since I was a kid. I was a somewhat unstable child, apparently. But having the ability to have all the parts and pieces I might need. This is a company called Rogo. If I needed a copper ceiling ring, I've got every single thing that Rogo makes, all these different fasteners available. and set up here in my lev rack array. I've got all my like puller tools and hose making kits. I'm gonna put some labels on these so I know what each one is. So this will be for, you know, car like oil change and car part stuff. I have, I think this one's empty still, largely empty. So this will be for detailing tester products, and then right now I have the tool grid stuff as I'm still organizing. And then this is cool, having somewhere to put all my car parts. I got a new front bumper for the Evo. I've got headlights and taillights, JDM. I've got, this is everything for the Tesla, so the full Mountain Pass performance suspension, unplugs, carbon ceramic brakes. So as I get my stuff, I don't have it laying around and tucked, sticking on my countertop. I can house it here in the lev rack. And then in the corner here, more detailing tester products. This is what I'm working on for pressure washing here. I'm working on trying to figure out how to make the foam cannon work with the new AR635. So I have somewhere to put it in between, you know, videos. And then I figured this is my wash station area where I have my microfiber towels, gallon refills, and washing stuff. I'm gonna tool grid this here for vacuum because I have the OG vacuum on the wall here. It's pretty sick. OG vacuum 50-foot hose, so the 50-foot hose will reach all the way over to the 2-post. The OG vacuum, really quiet. Most of the sound comes from the suction, but the OG vacuum operates at about 65 dB. This is one of the things we sold, like, I don't know, 150 of these over the Black Friday holiday. If you don't have this, this is a modern day motor with a muffler, with a Cox hose reel. And we've spent time obsessing over this and the packing of this to make it as quiet as possible. It's not wet dry, it's wet only, but there's a bag in here. But this system is awesome. We also have the Haida hose version, which, you know, my walls are block, so I couldn't put the Haida hose, and so we just operated with a hose reel here. This is coming soon. This is the OG high flow pressure washing station. These are the AR630. And the hot version with the nickel plated head. We have the articulating hose reel here, a hose reel mount, and so I can turn this outward to point outside. So this is something we have coming here in the next coming weeks. But this is our new system. We're in beta now. We have some testers that are out there testing the product to make sure, testing installation. We know that it functions well. But this is the dual setup. This has 4.6 gallons per minute. The advantage of a dual is we get some redundancy, and so we get redundant performance if one of them should go down for some reason or need to be serviced or repaired. We could run, you know, one unit at a time, but when I run them both in parallel, we're at 1,000 PSI, about 4.6 gallons a minute. It just makes the washing experience better. And these new ARs are really awesome. They're a triplex pump, so there's a camshaft that runs down the middle, and then there's cam lobes that sort of operate the plungers and create pressure. There's a sight glass on the side here so I can see that my oil's looking good. So right now, I think these are the industry standard. Krenzo's great, nice. The 1322 has been my beloved machine forever. I think these have kind of leveled up a little. The fit and finish has gotten much better on these. The performance is great. So right now, I think this is my preferred pressure washer for washing a car. If you can get one, that'd be great. Two is even better. But this, I think, is what most people will buy, is this single system where we have treated water. So we get spotless deionized water with our tank, and you can turn it on off, and then, you know, hose reel, pressure washer, and you have some adjustability on where these go. But this is a pretty sick setup. Part of the reason for us to articulate this out is because these tops come off in order to access the cartridge to change the resin. But this thing's pretty sick. We have the OG gun, new OG wand holder, so everything's here ready to go. Right now, I'll just be washing in the driveway or the parking lot out here, but eventually I'm going to build a wash bay. So then the other side of washing, you know, we put slat wall in. So this is the plastic slat wall. This is ProCore Plus or something they call it, where it has an aluminum channel in it. And these are our OG shelves. These are an 8-inch deep, 36-inch wide. And then we have my, my press all set up. Each one of these, there's probably 10 different brands of products here that we put a label and make it sort of generic so everything matches. But I've got Coach Chemi and Car Pro and McKee's and lots of great brands, Built Hamber, P&S in these various products, a couple of OG products as well. But this stainless steel tip and the fit, finish, and function of this setup is pretty sick. The new OG squeeze bottle. And so this has been sort of my vision forever, to have this sort of blacked out look, and we finally have it. What's coming in 2026 for us would be to eventually, though we're actually bottling some product there now, but I would love to bottle all of these in press-all and ship it to you finished with a cap, and that's our plan with the proper logo. Bucket filler, 48 inches height, 24-inch hose, and then a dram little filler here so that way I can easily access my buckets. This is a prior this is the P114, so this is a cold only. I have a P118 hot cold at my house, but this is where we would turn this on to fill up our buckets. Pretty sick. If you can get a bucket filler in your life and have to eliminate pulling out your garden hose, this is the dream. And so we have basically a garden hose hooked up to our pressure washer system, and then we have the bucket filler here as well. We're actually developing another bucket filler. This is a T316 stainless version. I'm developing one with our friends at what's the company that makes all the AN fittings? It'll come to me in a minute. But we're working on an AN looking one that's really slick. That'll be about a quarter of the price of this. And then we have our bucket package here. So the other things that I have in the garage, I'm working on some sonic jacks, but the other things, the other thing that I've been chasing in life is car lifts. This one is a 3-phase, but we're working on a single-phase version. But what this is a 114 inches tall, so it would fit in a 10-foot height garage. Mike ran the lines down underneath it, so we don't have to have the lines over top. But this is currently set up as a 9,000-pound 2-post lift. And the way that it operates, it's brand new, so we still have a little bit of there's no hydraulics here. So, but you can see it here, can you see through there, see the thread? There's basically a big giant all-thread shaft that runs from floor to top. And then there's a nut that sort of twists as the car goes up, and I'll show you how this thing works. It's whisper quiet. There's no air. There's no specific locks, so you have infinite adjustability in height. I don't have to let it go. I don't have to let it, like now it's fully locked. There's no for it to go because there's a nut and a nut. So there's a backup nut and a top nut, and so as the nut goes up, as it turns, it lifts the car, and then as you go up and down, it's turning that nut on the all thread. This will go up to about an 80 inches height. But I hope this explains to you why being detailing focused. I don't have as much access to the car as I do on the scissor lift, which I'll show you here in a minute. But the underside of the car, I do have quite a bit more working access. And I wanted to have a 2-post. If I had the choice of only one, I would choose the scissor lift. But having a 2-post and a scissor lift would be the dream, and so I'm living it. So this will go all the way up over my head, but you can see now, I have access to the full underside of the car. Looking pretty sick. I'm still a little scared to put it up higher. I need Mike in here to do it for me. Well, this is my $200,000 M3 that I don't want to come crashing down. But having this here also will give me the ability, once I feel comfortable, to park a car underneath it if I wanted to, so I can sort of stack the cars. Let's see how high I can go. I was getting nervous last night. I was listening for any creaks or squeaks. We did put a 24-inch thick slab under here, but this is my baby here. I can't replicate this thing. Look at that. It still can go higher. I can go higher. Okay, that's peak height. We're good? We're good. Nothing's falling. Everything's good. So check that out. I'm 6'2", and I can walk under my M3 without ducking. That's freaking sick. Look at that, man. Sorry, I'm smiling. I'm cheesing ear to ear here, man. This is great. This is my first time putting it up. I went up to like a few inches below that. Let me put it back down. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting scared. So then the advantage of the two posts is I have full underbody access. Then you have the option of scissor lift where I have full exterior access. So for a detailer or somebody who, you know, just wants quick access, it's easier to get the car on here, so it's technically a little bit safer, especially for a novice if you're putting a car on. But this one here is the Jumbo 9. So what are we calling that one? That one's the QL 9000, Quiet Lift 9000 from Nussbaum. You can hit up our design team, design@obsessedgarage.com if you need some help. In the three-phase version, I want to say it's $7,800, so it's not that much more expensive than the Chinese ones made in Germany. We're working on a phase converter for normal 240 volt normal house single phase operation. So this one here, I got a little bit of work to do. We have 208 volt here, not 240 volt. So this one, I think we need to make a few adjustments on how this one operates. It kind of gets hung up a little bit, but this is the Jumbo 9000, so 9,000 pound capacity. I didn't need that much capacity, but I've done lots with the 7,000 pound capacity version, and so I wanted to put the 9 here in this garage. And then you can see what Mike did. He actually took and put the electric motor inside of here. I guess we would call it a motor. And so this one will go up to about the same height, smooth as silk. But see, now I get most of the same underbody access. I can still drop the engine in this, do a drive shaft, do pretty much anything I want to do under the car. Having the best of both worlds, a two-post and a scissor lift is the dream. Especially for detailing. So the way that I would do this, again, no airlocks necessary. It has a redundant hydraulic system. And so, if I'm polishing under the side of the car, working on my wheels, I can work at it at chest height. So it just gives me that ability to put the car at whatever height I want. And if I'm detail focused or car modification focused that isn't necessarily, engine out replacements all the time, I can do almost everything on a scissor lift that I do on a two-post. Let's go all the way up here and show you. I think my ceiling height to the beams is like 12.5 feet. So I should be able to lift pretty much any vehicle all the way up. Tell me that's not the coolest thing you've ever seen. Look at that. So 6'2", what this is going, so what is that, 74 inches? So I'm like 76, 77, 78 inches underneath the car. And so now I have full access to everything down the middle. It can become a little bit problematic for some of these underbody panels, but see, anything with the engine, over axle pipes, headers, I can access just the same on a scissor lift. So like I said, if I could only have one, this is what I would choose. I feel like it's more universal. I can do more stuff on a scissor lift that I could on a two-post. I know that's not a popular opinion. This one's twice the money. This one's about 15 grand. And so having this, is not as practical. The installation, if you're not going to recess it in the ground like we did, is quite a bit easier. Mike cut the concrete and put this in so it's recessed. But if you were to put this on top of the concrete and did some drive-on ramps, installation is in hours, maybe half a day. And so the installation is quite a bit less onerous. You can put it on normal concrete, whereas with the two-post, you need to make sure that you have some concrete reinforcement done. So even though the cost of this is greater, you may end up saving in the long run because the installation of a two-post may be more costly if you don't have the right concrete specs. But most of the time, I'm going to keep the car. I'm going to access the car right around here and do detail work, making sure that I have infinite height adjustability where I don't have to mess with it. Pretty sick. Gosh, there's so much to talk about in this garage. I'm talking way faster than normal because I don't want to make this a 2-hour-long video. I did AV in the garage. The way that I like to do it now, and I think I made a mistake here, just the angle of the light. I did organic LED, figuring the windows were all the way over there. I'm probably gonna have to swap this. This is the 83-inch C5 OLED, and it's getting too much glare. I always like to do OLED if I can, but you know, we are watching dark scenes because of how much light I have in here. It's not doing so great. So I may swap this for mini LED or something like that with a matte screen. But what I've been doing is doing the sound bar attached to the TV, and then I do my separate speakers for music. And this setup is incredible. Same brand, same line as my desk setup, but I have what I call my obsessed version of our audio package. Dynaudio Core 59s with a note icon, and then I have a pair of subwoofers. And I actually put them up on the cabinets, and it actually works really well. These cabinets don't vibrate. They have, all the doors have like a nice soft close to them. And so it's okay, and these are pretty reinforced, these cabinets. And so I was able to put those 100-pound subwoofers on top. They're quad 9-inch high excursion drivers, and it frickin' sounds great in here. It's awesome. So that's for music, and then this is for movies, or really just kind of watching. Like I was watching a series on Paramount Plus when I was here organizing the other day. Last thing in the garage, which I do have to make a dedicated video on, is my compressed air system. I really need compressed air for filling tires, blowing out pads, and using my pneumatic polisher. And if I was just filling tires and blowing out pads, I wouldn't need something this crazy. But this is a Werther silent piston. So it's a oil heated piston compressor. So it's sorry, no, I got that wrong. Oil heated rotary screw compressor, not a piston compressor. But it has this silenced shroud. So there's insulation on this. This thing's like 4 inches thick. So this operates at the same noise level as like a dorm refrigerator. It's absolutely incredible. We'll deliver up to 13 CFM at 125 PSI. And so it's going to be able to deliver enough air for a single pneumatic polisher for me. But I think it looks beautiful. We put it front and center here. We ran the gray Prevost lines in here, staying with the sort of gray and black theme. And then I have Cox hose reels mounted throughout. These are all easy coil reels. And so when you wind them back in, notice how they wind in slow and controlled, so it wouldn't whip across the garage. I do need to do some debadging here to this, but I have Cox power in the two corners, which will cover the whole area. And then I have air in sort of a triangular setup here. So I have air in all sort of three corners of the triangle. I guess you would say corners of the triangle, so I can access the whole garage. And they're 50-foot hoses, so I have the ability to pull the hose wherever I need to. One of the things I think we're going to do is Mike came up with this idea. I'm going to put a window that I can slide open, so that way I can blow out pads out the window. That's what I'm going to do, because I don't want to blow up pads in this beautiful garage. So I'm living the dream here. As long as I don't live a nightmare of one of my cars falling off the lift, this garage is what I've always envisioned. This is the, say, 10th garage that I've done myself, and so each time we do something a little bit better. I like the setup here. I think there's always things that we can learn from and improve from use in the future. But as of right now, this place is awesome. I mean, it looks incredible. I'm hoping to build an outdoor wash bay, and then we may even possibly build an indoor wash bay on the extra 30 feet that I have in this room. Right now we're doing bottling over there. I would like to put a Rytec door in, a high-speed door, so we're going to look at that here this spring as well. But it's been a bit of a project here putting this thing together, but Mike killed it, and this now gets to be the muse or the background for all the videos that we're going to make together. So I'm pumped. Anyway, thanks for all the support. If you'd like your garage to look anything like this, hit up garage design at obsessedgarage.com, or just go to the website, top right corner, click Design Your Garage. Chris Gorberry, Kyle, and team, they can help make your dreams come true like mine. They designed this for me, and they can do the same thing for you. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for going on this journey with me. This garage just feels right, feels good. So Rousseau at my house, MSS Plus here. Man, I'm living the dream. Anyway, stay tuned for more crazy. We're going to continue to share with you all this awesome stuff. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.